I was a rising senior at Boston University when I interviewed for a job and an internship at an early stage women's health company. I knew I wanted to do something in the life sciences, and I started in a commercial career. So I did a lot of sales, marketing, business development before eventually transitioning into more leadership type roles. I've been at startups from their early days all the way through to when they get acquired, and then worked for large public biotech companies. Through those experiences, I realized that I really wanted to found something that was so connected to the mission and that would be able to have an impact on the lives of women. My co-founders and I decided we wanted to build an organization that focused on women's health, specifically in diagnostics, and we set out to build the company. None of us are scientists or engineers or doctors, and so we knew that we could be very steadfast on the mission and that we could have a really good business and commercial sense, but we were not going to be the ones that would develop something ourselves. We knew we had to partner. And going out and really thinking about who could we partner with and what problem we wanted to solve was the first challenge. And so we approached it by saying, where were the big problems in women's health that we could tackle? The way that endometriosis is diagnosed, the way that preeclampsia is diagnosed, the way that ovarian cancer is diagnosed, and we drew out the landscape pretty broadly. And then we went out and said, who can we partner with to help solve these problems? So whether it be academic institutions, professors, we looked at patent filings, publications, where is there something really exciting happening from a research perspective that we could eventually translate and turn into a tangible product that we could have value to clinicians and to patients. We ended up meeting with this really great professor at McGill University in Montreal. We decided to take that forward. Everything takes longer than you think it will. So you have to have a lot of patience and resilience. You have to be really, really bought in on the problem you're solving. And you have to know that it's going to take a really, really long time to probably achieve what you're trying to achieve, especially in the life sciences. You have to have the patience and the grit to get through it. We had a really awesome team that was doing incredible work. So when people ask me, well, how did you raise so much money? I was like, well, it's not me that raised the money. It's the entire team that gave me something to raise money on. We hit really tangible milestones. We were building a very strong company. We were putting together a really great team, and we were showing progress that we were de-risking as we were going along. I come from a commercial background. I manage a funnel. I, have a targeted outreach program. I make sure that I'm following up with investors. I schedule the right calls. I talk to hundreds of investors. But the biggest part of the success was building a strong company, which is the team and the milestones that we were hitting. I think one of the most important things about becoming a leader is your willingness to be coached, your willingness to learn, your willingness to evolve. You're not the same CEO when you're a 3-person company than when you are a 23-person company. Being willing to invest in your own skills, I think, is super important. Get outside of your comfort zone and take feedback and really think about how you live that feedback. I tend to be a fast talker, and it's just learning how to listen more than talking, I think, is a really, really important part of growing into being a leader, which is something that I still work on today. I travel a lot for my job. I have a family. I have a young daughter. I try to hold a boundary and be home on the weekends. That's important to me, to have that quality time with my family. I enjoy for myself, and I often recommend to people, is finding a good coach / therapist. I think having a confidant that you can talk to, I think, is really, really important. And then I think the best part for me at AOA is hands down building the team. I think it's the thing that I'm proudest. Finding the right people, empowering the leaders in the organization. When we first started the company, I would make the job offer to everybody. Like, I'd be part of the interview process, but then I'd be the person that offered the person the job. And as we kept growing and growing, the team kept asking me, do you still want to do that part? Are you too busy? And I was like, don't ever take that away from me. Making that phone call to invite somebody to join AOA is one of the highlights of my job. We're really, really focused on developing our product in ovarian cancer, specifically around women that have vague abdominal symptoms and end up going to a doctor and getting lost in the hospital system. Basically, we're really excited about some big data readouts, enrollment in our clinical study, and then we're really excited about doing our next fundraise so we can continue to build the company and the team. I think network is everything. When I started, I'd never raised money, so I didn't really have my own investor network, but I went out and asked. So going to a lot of conferences, going to networking events, just putting yourself out there. So many of the big conferences, the price tag for the conference can be high. You don't actually have to go to the conference or get a ticket. Go to all the surrounding events and to really start to meet people. And then you have to ask people for introductions. I think a huge part of building your network is being comfortable asking somebody to introduce you to somebody else and then connecting with that person on a human level, right? I think the best advice that I could give is start building your own founder friend group. And then on the capital side, everybody thinks you need capital to start a company. What you need most is passion and time. Find something that you're really excited about and spend a ton of time on it. Build what you can from the ground up. And then as you start to build something valuable, then you can go out and raise capital. The idea doesn't start with capital. It starts with passion and having the time to build something.